So can you kind of tell me how you would journal this process that you're going through right now, where you're saying I'm about done paying Penn State money, right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm going through this process. When that concludes, what does that shift and transition look like in journaling?
Well, for me personally, what I'm looking at this stage of life is my business has grown and I have more income coming in than I did some years ago. And that didn't change my life. I still live in the same house that I raised my three kids in. I have along the way bought a property down at the Jersey Shore. So I have some nice things and I manage them and they're just fine. But the business has grown and I have this extra cash flow. And certainly for anybody who's paying for their kids' education, once that ends, that's extra cash flow. And so I'm sure I could find something to do with that money. My wife and I have discovered that we like getting away to Florida in the colder winters here in Philadelphia. So those are trips that I didn't used to take. But I'm not buying a house in Florida because I can't go there enough for that, and then that wouldn't be a wise. So for me, I'm looking at this excess cash flow, and it's building up, and I'm investing it. But it kind of built up because first I was like, well, let me have a safety net. Let me have a business cushion. And then that's what I kept doing. Well, next thing my cushion was too big. All right, well, now, do I want to buy a property? Well, no, I just said I have I own a house and another house. That's enough. And so for me, it's how soon and how quickly can I save $1 million? It's the business that I'm in. You're setting money aside and can I, how can I add to this? And that's certainly there for retirement. And I find that this is so many people, we tell them when they're 20, save, sooner the better. But for many people, you have a lot of excess cash flow in the last 10 years before retirement or maybe the last 15 years. And so putting that to a purpose. So for me, it's just, putting that aside and really building up and growing the investments even more than I have been, through this period of time. So that's sort of the flag that I've stuck in the ground or the beacon that I've put out there that I want to strive to, which isn't different from you saying, I want to own a house someday. You need to, hey, I'm just going to shift a couple $100 extra a month and I'm going to put it in this investment account. And if I buy a house someday, it'll be there. And if I don't, maybe that'll help put my kids through college or help me retire or start a business. But right now, I think that's the purpose of it. And as long as you journal that and keep that in mind and don't forget what you're trying to accomplish, you're on your way. So for me, that's what I'm setting aside is sitting down with my wife and, what do we need? And, how do we want to protect ourselves and building up for right now? It's just, we have the cash flow. Let's do it. And that's not any different than you. It's just, you have more time, to build up. So you don't need as much excess cash flow. But the goals are still very, very similar. If you liked our conversation today and you think setting goals and journaling your financial plan makes sense, go to goodfinancial.com and we'll get you started.